whatever. Yeah, whatever. All right. I'm
All
not
right,
the one.
we're live.
Yeah, I
Let's
know.
go.
I'm not the one to question that. But I'm just saying,
Mm,
just saying. Uh, I got the audio's good.
yeah,
Other,
audio check.
yeah, my computer speakers are on. I thought I could hear it through my headset, but nevertheless, that doesn't matter. Um, Sound like we're good. Got a few people already watching on YouTube. Had a few people to catch us on SoundCloud. I mean, not on SoundCloud, but on Twitch, which is
Hmm.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I know that one person you checked out wound up was spam.
Yeah, I'm
Did
not
you
worrying.
say?
Yeah, I'm not worrying about that. Yeah. I'm not dealing with that because you know how that goes. Everybody want to do stuff for numbers and not necessarily content.
Mm-hmm.
This is episode 106 of the First and Framerates podcast. I got a lot of other podcasts out here. Um, they say they're going to do this for. They're going to do the episode for the year. This will be their final one this week. Now, for us, we plan on not doing any episodes next week. The entire Christmas week is going to be, us just doing our thing with our families or just doing things on our own. But the 31st of December is a Tuesday. And I think that'll be a perfect time for us to do our year in review um, episode. So, with that being said, that's where we're going to do our last episode. Got a lot of other things in store for that particular episode. So, hopefully, we have people tune in. I'm going to post those things up on social media because there's a lot of changes going to be coming for 2020. All positive, so don't worry or anything. I think it just benefit everybody, us as well as the viewers and listeners. Nevertheless, we got two topics on deck. Waiting for Bills to come through. He may be busy with his singing and his music, which is all is fine and well. So right now it's just me and DJ. On the two topics, we're going to have college football player predictions. I know there's a couple of people listening to us was asking about when we were going to do that. I always had that scheduled for this week. And we're going to talk about sports gaming in 2020 because I really don't want to talk about that in the year in review episode. So we could talk about the sports gaming in 2020, especially with the new consoles coming out. So DJ, what's been going on with you the last couple of days?
Well, for those that didn't catch that tweet, which was early in the morning, had a near accident this morning that rattled me for a bit. So I've spent most of the day just recovering from that and just chilling out. And been playing. I just released another State of Decay episode that, yeah, guys definitely want to check it out because shit happens. So other than that, ready for these topics, ready for a good episode, and glad to be here. And glad everyone who's listening is here at the moment and will be here.
Yeah, great. All the time because people who come through always gives us great feedback on the channel and on the episodes and give us some great ideas. So that always works out. Nevertheless, DJ, find his stuff. His blog is in the description. You can find his Twitch, that's also in the description, and you also can find his Twitter. All that's done in the description. So if you want to follow him and get other information as far as what he likes to do and what he dislikes as well, it's all there. Now, as for me, I put together a dining table. I was able to. I went to do that because I bought another dining table for the house. Um, just doing some more tweaks with this new computer graphics card. I'm still loving it. I may get another CPU. May upgrade the CPU now because they're actually getting pretty cheap. But that may come down somewhere down the road. Nevertheless, love gaming on this PC. I mean, the 480 was nice, with the 5700 is just magnificent. Other than that, just gaming and getting stuff done around the house and just getting ready for Christmas. This is my son's first Christmas as well, so I'm really excited about that. All the things me and my wife bought for him, and I bought a few things for my wife, and I know one thing that I'm getting for Christmas, and I mean, we all talked about my squeaky chair, so that's one thing I'm actually getting for Christmas. But there's like other things that she bought, and she will not say what it is. I haven't been asking anyway, so it's just an exciting time. With the new year, my birthday just passed, New Year's coming up, Christmas. It's a lot of things moving and shaking, a lot of things changing. So I'm just really excited about that. On the 31st, like if you guys haven't come up, the 31st will be the last episode of the year. We're not going to do any episodes next week, all throughout the Christmas week. We're not doing any episodes because Christmas falls on a Wednesday, I think, right?
Yep, it does.
Yeah, so we're not gonna do any episodes on Christmas Eve, and we're not gonna do anything after Christmas. That is everybody's time to spend time with your families. You can chat with us on Twitter or whatever, but most of the time, we're not gonna be sitting here talking. So, but nevertheless, the 31st, that's when we're gonna talk about all the changes as far as this podcast goes. And like I said, I have a lot of things. I haven't even told DJ and Bills yet the things I want to do. Maybe I'll tell them after the episode, but there's things that I want to do, and it involves you guys that listen and support, and I think it'll be a win-win for everybody. Nevertheless, Bills isn't here, so we can't do the NFL picks because he has all the information. Daniel Daly, Chris Thomas, thank you guys, always coming through. Young Noble, same thing. Just straight up, loyal listeners. I can't thank you guys enough. Spectacular Pooh said he was going to be here, but he's streaming right now on his end.
He better learn to multitask.
Well, I mean, he kind of
he can get on his phone and be like, guess what? What does he call it? Lurking.
Yeah. He kind of caught the NCAA 08 bug because now he wants to stream it all of a sudden since I've been streaming it. But that's okay. Also, you can catch this on iTunes and SoundCloud. Always catch us there if you can't catch us live, or if you want to listen to us later on. Perfect way to do it. You can download the episodes there and listen to us on that. Also, I'm live streaming on Twitch as well, along with DJ. I think DJ, you were pretty much down. You live stream on YouTube still, right?
Yeah, because I'm not budging with this whole copy situation, and they actually adjusted their harassment. And I don't do harassment videos like everybody seems to do. So
they've been doing
there.
Yeah, you're right. They've been doing a lot of changes to curtail, to help out gamers who actually game and not really targeting children. They've been doing a lot, and that's a good thing because at first it was like nobody could upload anything that has anything to do with games. So that's a good thing. They actually come to their senses. But nevertheless,
the funny thing about it is that it kind of reminds me if you had that one friend, that one uninvited friend that seems to come over a lot, and it's just like you're trying to give them signals that they need to leave or not come around again. That's kind of what YouTube is doing, and eventually they're going to get to a point. But what's going to happen? There's going to be a competitor, not Twitch, not Mixer, not whatever. It's going to be somebody out of left field that's going to come out, and they're going to be what YouTube used to be, and everyone's just going to go over there, and they're going to get all the partnerships. Like basically, they're going to get hooked up with Sony and Microsoft, so people can stream, and they're going to get like a Google Hangouts type thing, and YouTube will be dried up. And once that happens, it will take about 5 years for YouTube to be a desert.
I'm going to tell you one thing. I do like that caffeine site. It looks like it has a lot of potential. There's a couple of things they need to change, but so far so good.
The one thing that I haven't streamed on there since I did a couple of like random live streams on there, and it's good, but you don't have a storage. There's not a place where you store your streams.
Yeah, you can't keep your content, right?
Yeah, so that's the downfall there. It's almost like if you stream there, you got to multi-stream someplace else to keep your content.
Right, and that's not good. Let's talk about these college football playoffs. I don't have anything to say about any game outside of them. I think the Alabama-Michigan game is going to be interesting. Oregon
Whoa,
versus
whoa, 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 whoa! You're reading the wrong bracket. Are you
No,
talking
no, no,
about
no, 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 no.
bowl
What I'm
game?
saying, no, I'm talking about outside of the playoffs.
Oh, I'm about to say, I
I
was
think,
like, you
yeah,
talking about
outside.
Alabama? I was like, what?
No,
You mean
outside of
last
the
year's bracket?
no, outside of the playoffs, I think Michigan and Alabama is going to be a decent game. The Wisconsin game is going to be a good game. And also, I always look at my personal team, the Georgia Southern Eagles. They're playing Liberty, so those like 3 games I'm gonna look at outside of the bowls. All the other ones are, yeah, they're okay. But we have Oklahoma playing LSU, number 4 versus number 1, and we have Clemson versus Ohio State. I heard that Oklahoma lost 2 of their top players on defense or something like that.
But they
So
got suspended or something?
yeah, they got suspended or got caught with PEDs or something like that. And so I think that's going to curtail them. I didn't think they had a chance against LSU anyway. But that's just my pick as far as it comes to that team. I just don't see anything on their end. What are your thoughts about Oklahoma LSU if you know anything that's on your mind about them?
Well, with that happening with Oklahoma, I think LSU will definitely pull that out.
I'll take that back. It's been 3 players suspended.
Yeah, LSU's pulling that out. Because whenever you get like a team whose players, if for some reason they're able to get away with it throughout the season, but once you get that break, that lull where they're not playing, they think they could do some stuff and think that it'll get out of their system by the time that's the time they get busted. Like they go to these random parties during the
Right,
time
because
to celebrate. Yeah.
they're still celebrating and shit. Yeah, right.
Yeah, this time of year for college football players is dangerous if you're in the BCS Final Four playoffs, and then even for the bowl matchups, those players, because it's just okay. It's just you're taking your classes, and there's just too much time on your hands, too much time, and kids these days, kids back in the day, kids, but even before then, like our parents were kids, their grandparents were kids. If you give kids enough time, they will find trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just the case here with Oklahoma, and yeah, so I got LSU winning that one. So on one side we got LSU, so we can talk about
Yeah, I mean the thing is,
I think it's the better matchup is Ohio State versus Clemson.
oh, absolutely. And my thing is, you have the starting defensive end. The starting, I think, is one. I don't know if he's starting, but the running back and a wide receiver, all 3 of them are suspended for the game. So I didn't think Oklahoma had a chance with that, even with these guys. I still think LSU is probably going to beat them maybe by 3. I'll say maybe 2, maybe 3 touchdowns. Now I'm leaning towards 3 because LSU has been playing very well. The other game we have here, we have Clemson and Ohio State, like you said. This is almost a pick 'em because both of these could go either way. Clemson is really good. Ohio State's really good. Great coaching, great players. You have Chase Young at defensive end. He might cause problems for that Clemson offensive line. But then again, you have a running back at Clemson that can actually run the ball against anybody. So and you also have Trevor Lawrence. So you're looking at it where this may be the game of the playoffs because I think whoever goes up against LSU, they may have a big problem. LSU is just a juggernaut. I do like Justin Fields against Clemson's defense. Clemson's defense has been so kind of suspect all year as well. So you can go either way, either one of these teams. So I have no idea. You said it's going to be a more compelling game, a more entertaining game. If you had to pick, who would you think?
Ohio State.
Think Ohio State can beat us?
No hesitation. Ohio State is beating Clemson. And I don't care if anybody wants to come back and clip it after the game. And let's say Clemson were to win. I'm no
You're going down with the ship, huh?
Yeah, I'm going down with the ship. It's going to be a 1-2 matchup in the national championship. And then there's the other concern, the same concern that I had for the Oklahoma players being suspended. There's going to be a 2-week lull to the national championship game being played on January 31st. I think that's a Monday.
All right.
Let me just check to make sure. That is a Monday. Yeah, that's damn near 3 weeks. 3-week lull. Yeah, they need to have these happen, within 2 weeks because these kids are just getting in trouble. But yeah, they got LSU versus Ohio State, and I'm saying Ohio State all the way.
Oh, I can't be mad at that because when you really look, like I said, both teams have something, they have something that'll work against either one. I mean, but I think Justin Fields could be the difference maker because Justin Fields is just he's a monster. I mean, he's been playing very well this year. Um, I don't know. It's going to be. I think that's going to be the game. Honestly, I think it's going to be the game. I don't have anything else to add to it. But I am really. Let me go back. Let me see when they're actually playing. Oh, they're playing on the 28th. Let's see. Yeah, they're playing on the 28th, which is kind of early for the playoffs. No. I'll take that back because they actually play on the first week of January. But I think the national championship game this year is going to be 2 weeks after.
I think what they used to do is that since what is it? Let me pull up the calendar again. Let's see, the 28th being next Saturday.
Right. But they're saying that the national championship game is going to be on the 13th. I think.
Yeah, it usually would be on the 6th.
Yeah, it used to be the week after.
Unless there's some scheduling conflicts because the game is being played in New Orleans, so
I'm
it must be a concert or something because it's being played at the Superdome.
It could be that, or it just could be just NFL playoffs or just NFL conflict.
It wouldn't be because the NFL they only play their playoff games on Saturday or Sunday. They don't have any Monday. And the 6th is on a Monday, the week prior.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's right. Their national championship game has always been on a Monday. That's right.
Yeah, so that's why. Wait a minute, it kind of depends on what channel. No, because if it like let's say Fox was doing the national championship, they wouldn't have anything else that they needed to get ratings competing with it. Like if something were to take place on Friday, they have Friday Night SmackDown that they want to continue to boost up, so they don't want it to be preempted by, a national championship game.
Right.
It is what it is, but that's too much time given to these kids and the rest of them getting suspended doing something stupid. I'm like, and I'm like, they're being college kids. I'm like, if that was the case with the Oklahoma students, then I'm like, what can you do?
I just
can't keep them in their rooms the whole entire time. Plus, they go home.
No, I just think it becomes a time where you just have. You can put it on the coaches or whatever. They just don't like the discipline in certain moments to keep them grounded. Sometimes some of these players have plenty of time on their hands, but they just know when to do the right thing. Vice versa, they just don't, and some of them just led differently. It could be a lot. It could be a lot of different, aspects to that, and I think it could be something to do with coach discipline as well.
Okay, let me ask you this, because when you were in college playing football, did your team make it to the playoffs at any point?
Oh goodness, that was what 06? We was in the FCS back then. We did.
Okay, and then how many weeks did you have between your final game of the season and then the playoffs, where it's like a week?
Well, you got to think.
I know it's like a big tournament.
Yeah, it's a big tournament, so we did ours pretty much like right away. It's like
okay.
We didn't have like a really big gap between them because if anything, we played our last game and we may had a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like that, and it just turned right around, and the playoffs started, and the playoffs were pretty much done by the second, maybe first or second week of January. So it was a quick turnaround.
See, and that's the funny thing with the FCS. They kept you guys busy. It was just like there was no lull time, and with that Division 1A, it's like you had that time where the kids go through the finals, and before their last final ends around like mid-December, then the bowl games take place after that. So the kids that participate in fall sports at their university, they have just their classes that they're doing. Well, they're practicing, but then there's a chance that with that kids are going home for the winter break.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, you also have exams at that time too, and
well, that's what I'm saying. You have exams, but then I see, and because I almost had a chance to play in college. I didn't. I did it for like a week, and it was just like, college football. Well, the football altogether wasn't for me at that level. I realized that because I was at Frostburg originally, so I was down in Division 3,
right.
and yeah, and a lot of people don't even know about that. I did. I attempted to play college football.
Yeah, I didn't.
I wish I had. I wish that I didn't give it up at that point
Yeah,
because
I mean, I was low key kind of forced to give it up on my grades, so I didn't play the entire season. And I was walk on, so I didn't have the choice. But nevertheless,
I was being recruited.
yeah, I wasn't recruited, so I kind of knew, I knew how it was. Nevertheless, so
Yeah,
but
because it was either Frostburg or Bowie State, and the oh god, I had a terrible experience, and on that recruiting trip, it wasn't even a trip because technically Bowie State is right down the highway, but it was just once I got there. First of all, the guy got my name wrong, and then two, because I'm like, there were two Derek's on our high school team at Wild Lake. The other Derek was the quarterback. He played quarterback and was a punter. I strictly played wide receiver.
right,
And I think they were trying to convert me to a defensive back. And that, along with the bad tour, I really didn't want to convert to a DB.
all right, that's understandable.
So, and plus Frostburg had better food. I'm like, they fed myself. It was myself and my father. We both went, and it's a 2-hour ride up to into Garrett County. That's kind of extreme Western Maryland in the mountains. Got Southern PA that's right there. And yeah, they fed us. They treated us well. They treated us with respect. They called me by the right name. And they was like, look, we got you a wide receiver. Just to let you know, you're going to be like 6th or 7th right there on the depth chart. But if you keep working at it, and to this day, I felt like, this is kind of like a confession now. To this day, when I quit, I felt like I let down that receiving core that literally was mentoring me. Like, they wanted me to be where they were. And, as far as a wide receiver group, that was probably the first and only experience of being in a close-knit receiver unit.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, think about college ball. And it's one thing why I love Georgia Southern so much. I mean, like those guys are like brothers. They're like family. And I love watching how, not only the time when I was there, when I love how the way they actually do their things,
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to them just being together as one and actually looking out for one another, it's a beautiful thing. And a lot of people look at college ball and they think like, oh, it's all about winning. That's all we need to do. We need to win. And no, I mean, you learn a lot of things about life just by being a part of the team and learning about that brotherhood and actually things that you learn from your coach. Like, it's like that extended fatherhood that the coach brings to you about discipline and learning how to overcome obstacles and just being a player. And not only that, it translates to what you do in life. So college is very important, especially college ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's and I think that's something that people don't really may not understand. So I'm all here for that. And that's why I love my school, because to them it's about winning, but it's not all about that. Those guys are actually, learn to be somebody at the end of the day. And I think that's really important, when you are becoming not only a football player, but a student and, an athlete, or you just learning just how to, function in life. It's not just about going there and winning a championship for a school that really don't want to pay you.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So it's bigger than that. So shout out to all the coaches who actually try to instill some type of morals and values to their kids, because it goes a long way, especially all of our African American kids. It goes a long way.
Well, you know what? My story on that, just to dwell on, since we're there on this topic, I playing baseball, I had a coach that was like that. But this happened when I was like almost first year being a teenager. So like 13, 14, 15 was where I was picked up by a coach. His name was Alan Fleming. this was in baseball. So we were playing like youth baseball, and it was a church team called the Columbia Community Church Angels. So we were picked up from our because our city also had a youth league, but the way they treat African Americans is that they would always stick us in the outfield. They
Right.
would always stick us in the outfield. They would pinch hit or pinch run, and this happened to me like towards the tail end of high school, and it was degrading. It was very degrading. I don't think that coach to this day realizes how degrading it was to me to do that to me and people like me. And he was from day one. He was like, "What's your natural position?" I was like, I'm a natural infielder." I'm like, I have a short attention span, so I couldn't sit in the outfield all day.
Right.
But I had quick reflexes, playing video games, all the other stuff that people are like, "Oh, you're not gonna make yourself into anything playing video games all day." Yeah, throw something at me, boom. See how I was able to catch that? Yeah, quick reflexes. But yeah, so I had played shortstop. But the mentality of that coach was that he treated us like grown men.
Right.
So his thing was about being professional. And it started from the uniform that we wore. We wore our uniform a certain way. I'm like, if we were caught wearing our uniform a certain way, he would nip it in the butt. And that was one of the things. Discipline-wise, he was I think he was the most disciplined coach I actually went to that I played for. And then on top of that, we had fun. Eventually, we built the chemistry off these experiences. We started out like 0-5, and then he was the only coach that I knew that called the players at home to give them a pep talk. But he called me for a specific pep talk, and this pep talk was about leading the team. At 13 years old, what coach is calling you at home to say, "Hey, I need you to lead this team because they look up to you"?
Right. I mean, but see, that's the thing. Only coaches who really pay attention to their. And I'm not saying all coaches don't do this. There are some coaches who do pay attention to their players, but you could tell what coaches actually do when they actually say stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is, especially as an African American kid, that means way more than anything else in that sport, in life, that somebody that I'm like, he knew me. He knew my father, and they both had that shared frustration about how African American players are being treated in our town of Columbia as far as baseball was concerned. But it was definitely the moment I needed to step into a lead role. And we won 6 in a row. We went through the playoffs. We won a championship. Then the next year, we did something that no local team has done, whether it's high school, whether it was youth ball. That was virtually we went undefeated in 2 leagues and won a championship in at least one of them. I don't think they finished this season because we played in Baltimore City and beat all the teams there. Well, it was a lot more competition in Baltimore City than it was in Columbia. Newsflash: African Americans can play baseball. That if you go in the inner city, you can find ball players. And our coach turned a person who had never played baseball before in his life. He noticed the raw talent that this kid had, and eventually this kid had turned those raw talents into baseball skills. And he started to produce. At first, it was like a fish out of water, but eventually he learned to breathe the air, the oxygen of baseball. And kid was fast, was hardworking, and it worked for him. And it worked for anybody else. So we took our biggest kid, who was like almost 250 pounds, and we taught him to steal home.
Well, I mean, that's what I was saying. That's stuff like that is what it's all about. Learning. Just having coaches like that is really valuable. I understand. Like when I have my son start to play sports, I want him to have a coach like that because it at the end of the day, it's not all about just winning games. You want to win, but you're not going to win if you don't have the guys in place to actually be leaders or just find their potential. Those are the things that's really important when it comes to that.
Shoot,
Oh,
long as that coach is not at South Carolina,
right. I really
it's like
don't.
I don't want nobody from South Carolina coaching him. DJ Swearing is there? Nah, that's okay.
No, but nevertheless, still waiting on Bills. Bills hit me up, said that he has one more thing he has to do before he can come in. Um, let's jump into a little bit of sports gaming as well. Like we're kind of moving along pretty quick. It's
Mm-hmm.
only 30 minutes in, but that's not too bad. Um, what's what is your thoughts about sports gaming next year with these new consoles coming out? I know we all talked about a little bit about Madden 2021, and we haven't talked much about NBA 2K. We don't even know what these games going to look like. But my thing is like, do you think it's still going to be status quo? Because I mean, I feel like money is still going to be pushing these games. I mean, as much as we want simulation, I still think money is going to try to push these games to the limit to where that's going to be the forefront, and they're going to give us a little bit just to make us say ooh and ah. But at the end of the day, we kind of know what's going to drive these games. Do you have any dissension on that? What are your thoughts?
I don't. For some reason, I don't have a good outlook on sports gaming and the new consoles. It's just, I, especially with what they're messing up in, what they're overlooking as far as just making sure settings save. When I log into NBA 2K20 and I'm constantly having to reset my controller settings because the server resets them upon connection.
So you got to understand on that as well. Like we didn't have that problem when we had the PS3. Everything just saved.
No, but here's the thing. From researching it, as I've learned that it was an issue. It's been an ongoing issue. This is the first year for me that it was happening, even though I was logged into. So I could see how much of a hassle it has been for the community that has dealt with this. It was the first time. This is the first year of it happening. But at the same time, it was like, this is something that I believe it's simple. I know devs laugh it off, and fellow devs and sub devs, they'll laugh it off, laughing at people like, oh, they think it's easy. Well, yeah, it's easy to not address it and just hear the feedback and not address it. I'm like, the sooner you address it, the better it will be to fix it. I'm like, and when it's clear, like in 2K's issue, it's clearly the 2K servers. It is clearly the servers, because when I'm not connected to the internet, the settings save. They're saved. I don't have to reset them. But the moment I connect to the server, it resets my settings. That's a hell no in my book.
Right.
And
like honestly, I'm not saying I never had that issue, but I never noticed it myself. I always been okay with what I had.
Mm-hmm. And then when you look at Madden, they have another issue on their hands. Well, besides franchises and the running animations, oh god. When it comes to settings resetting, because they have an issue like that too, but it happens when you go into play now. No matter what you have your settings on, like defensive assist, visual, like the visual settings, you go in, all of a sudden, it's like it didn't compute. Like all of a sudden, you could see the defense assist, you could see the coverage assist, and stuff like that. And I was like, no, plus I'm playing on all Madden. That shouldn't be on at all. Like I have it set up to where it's off.
Right.
But the moment I go into play now, it resets it to where. So I had to go in the pause menu and do that.
So what do you think about gameplay issues? I mean, do you think they're going to be way much more improved, or are you still going to think they're going to have their same legacy issues?
They had 10 years to figure this shit out on this gen. I have no hope for them to figure out their gameplay issues. It's one of those things where it's funny that I know one of your biggest complaints comes from MLB The Show with the ball going through the bat.
Right.
And they need to figure that out. That's
I,
just as
see, that's
simple.
another thing.
That's just as simple as making the bat a physical object beyond what they have, because obviously they have enough of it that accounts for the physicality of the baseball bat.
But see, this is the thing. This has been an issue only on the PS4 era. It has not been an issue during the PlayStation 3. And I got proof of that because I still have my PlayStation 3 games. You don't have that issue at all. But for some reason, when the PS4 came out, it was an issue.
Like, here's the thing. If you can simulate the physical nature of the ground to where, like, okay, you know how, like, the old Maddens, whether it was grass or turf, it always appeared the players ran on top of it. Like,
right.
They ran on top of it without sinking in. When natural grass, you sink into it a little bit. And then now you can see the players. It's just resetting the actual floor that the players are attached themselves to. So it appears that they're sinking into the ground. So it's just like, if you can do that with a whole freaking football field, you can do that with a baseball bat, you can do that with a hockey stick. That's another issue I have with NHL. Trust me, all these sports can catch it. NHL has an issue with their sticks. Especially with board play. Sticks are going through players, they're going through the boards.
It's pretty weird where you have this generation. You want that to change for next generation, and I totally agree. I think that's where it needs to be. Let's look at a couple of these comments. KC Classic, what's going on? I don't see him much. He said this has been an issue for a while. I'm pretty sure he's talking about the settings.
Yeah, he's talking about he's talking about 2K, because I saw that pop up when I was talking about it.
Right.
So yeah, I agree. I'm like, it's just funny. Just whenever I'm looking at settings and sliders, I'm constantly going back and forth researching what the community. It's like I do what I do, but then I research the community, and it's like I feel like it's a balancing act to find what I need that's strictly in the middle, like to combine the two. And it's constant people not sure what settings mean and how gameplay is affected by it. And there's a lot more people that are left in the dark about these settings universally as far as each sport that we play video games on. And it's crazy that this has not been cleared up by any devs on any
well, next generation, I mean, hopefully that'll be, because this generation, I'm not worried about it. It's not going to happen this generation. Also, Young Noble said 2K20 is trash all the way around. I haven't bought the game. I couldn't tell you. I'll be honest with you.
It's not trash all the way around. It's just to me, 2K20 went the route of NBA Live, and they tried to do they really tried to individualize movement. In a video game sense, it may not be a good idea, because as much as that's realistic to learn individual players, it's just when you want your player to do something simple, they don't do anything simple these days. You want a player to just take off. He doesn't just take off. He lags for a bit, and then it's like a hesitation. I want my movement 1-to-1. Whatever their movement is.
Well, I'm okay with 2K19, so I'm not too worried about it.
Well, 2K19 kind of started that trend.
Yeah, but that game just plays a phenomenal game of ball, and there's no reason for me to buy another one. Also, you had Chris Thomas said, I would like to see free live content from Sim Football game. It don't have to be generic, just make it fully customized.
That's been a wish of everybody for years.
Free live content from free live content. Man, demonetization, that's a problem. I would love to see it too, but man, these companies are just so greedy, man.
Yeah, because again, looking at Madden, if I'm looking at the superstar abilities and X factors, they were fine until people. And I'm not blaming the consumers. When people started really like, yeah, this is nice. The suits was like money. all
Yeah,
right,
you
put
can load.
everything in this game that's superstar related. Have everybody do superstar abilities.
Yeah, you
And
can low key
then,
blame them for that because they're the ones the reason why the suits are liking it because
well,
the
but the thing is, I'm not blaming them because that's a natural reaction when you like something. I'm not gonna blame the consumer because of what they naturally like, and it was something that they wanted. But eventually, it became an issue to where you can't do simple stuff without the abilities. The abilities were supposed to be an enhancement to what a player earned through their ratings, not a replacement for it.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I would like to see. I would just like to see a game just come out and just be just straight up with honest and just really good gameplay. To me, I feel like 2K19 was like one of the last games to actually do that.
And then on top of that, going back to Madden, they still need to get the ball physics and physics all around as far as ball trajectory, not just passing, kicking as well. I'm like, I CPU did a CPU versus CPU game, and you don't kickers don't low line drive shots, kicks from like 45 yards out. They have a high enough arc and they have enough strength to where they don't need the low line drive it unless they're like at their extreme end of their range. And it's just like that doesn't make any sense either. You almost have to see you change the setting to like for the kick power on field goals, and then all of a sudden the AI thinks they can kick 65, 66-yard field goals, so they'll start attempting those, and it's just like it's a double-edged sword with that. It's so that like, okay, increase the kicking power, but now the AI is screwed up.
Well, I just think at the end of the day that just goes back to programming because you touch one thing, it always messes up something else. That's just the issue with Madden. I think they just need to overhaul the entire game. Maybe they'll do that for the next consoles. I don't know, but it's just that when I've been playing like NCAA 08 or Madden 08 recently, you have where those things that was back then, and we're asking for it now. And like, for 9 times out of 10, those are the things that we're asking for. Things that were actually in the game at one point that actually made a difference. Because like you can look at my streams and actually playing the games, it looks like and it feels like an unpredictable football game. Now we know most of these games are scripted, pretty much all of them are, but it feels like an unpredictable game. I don't know what play to run. I don't know what to do. I actually have to do something to actually win the game. But like with Madden, it gets to a point where you know what play is going to work, and you know why they work, and it just doesn't make it any, it doesn't make it fun, Chris Thomas also said that they should make new throwing mechanics for Madden 21, like a throwing meter, like they have a pitch meter in MLB to show, so passing that you could be more precise in your throws and could be a skill gap. Could you imagine if they actually had a throwing meter like MLB to show for people throwing the ball in Madden? And people will shit bricks.
Yeah, no, it's not shooting down. It's a good idea for comp players, but everyone, I'm like, I'm the type that believes in choice. So if they could put it, they can put it in there, but not hardwire it, so everyone had to do it, then I would be fine with that. But if it was something they had to hardwire and get rid of the old passing system, I would stay away from that, because when you're pitching, that's one thing. It's a static thing when you're pitching. When you're playing quarterback, there's so many things you have to account for. I'm like, people already complained enough from the vision cone. I'm like, I don't know what they were complaining about. They just, to me, there were folks that just didn't know football and didn't know how to handle having quarterbacks with thin vision cones and how you could snap to a different receiver. And then there's another aspect that you have with the vision cone that you don't have anymore, and that's being able to hold safeties in certain positions because you're looking this way, and then you happen to hit the button to snap it to view to the other.
You didn't need the vision cone to do that. I mean, I could do that in Madden right now, not even playing the game.
No. Throwing to, I'm like, that. What happens with in the current game, they look on their own. You don't control their head movement.
No, I'm talking about Madden 08. I mean, Madden.
Oh yeah, Madden 08. Yeah, Madden 08.
I don't need the vision cone to do that, but I get what you're saying. It's just that the program of the current games just have that issue that.
Yeah, but not a lot of people are playing Madden 08.
Well, they
So
need to get the game to play like that so more people actually play it.
and that's what I'm talking
That's
about.
what
I'm
I'm
like,
talking about,
because
bro.
if the announcer in the game is going to sit there and say, "Hey, he was able to hold the receiver, he was able to hold the safety by looking one way and then dumping the ball off in a different direction," and it's just like, well, when I look at the replay, I want to see that happen, and it doesn't happen. So, and I don't have no control over his head movement, and that was supposed to be a very important thing you were going to be able to do, especially with pump fakes.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Also, Young Noble says that I don't think that sports games are going to be anything major on first release on the new consoles because they're not going to know how to maximize full potential. All right, I got a question about that. When we talk about maximize full potential, are we talking about programming or are we talking about graphics? Because that's what most people are, that's what most games are doing. They're maximizing the graphics and the performance as far as frame rate, but they're not really maximizing what they can do as far as programming the game to do different animations or different type of AI or just having, a differentiation of players. Like when you played the PlayStation 2 version of these games, you could see where when Madden 01 came out, they didn't have certain tackle animations, but by the time the game came out later on and you had Madden 11 on PS2, you had all different types of stuff. With this Madden here, with this generation, I'm not even talking about the PlayStation 3 generation because everything was pretty much the same throughout the entire time. The only difference was they just toned it down to make it play a little bit better. This generation added animations with air superiority, some conservative tackles. With some of the conservative tackles, just old animations put back in. Different catch animations were actually finally added that was supposed to be in since Madden 25. You saw them actually do it, but at the end of the day, they really never they really never added to what the AI can actually do. So therefore, certain plays that you ran back in previous Maddens, they still worked as a legacy issue. So it when we talking about these new consoles maximizing potential, are we really talking about them actually making a full-fledged game, or the game is finally going to run at 120 frames? Those are two different things.
See, and the funny thing with that is that when games are moving to the next gen, they should have already maximized the previous gen. I don't even think sports games have maximized this current gen. It seems like they're always, when they go to next gen, it always seems like they're a couple of steps behind. Like I feel like if you're going into a new gen, you should be the max. And I see it in the question is that you should maximize the current gen so you can be at the base level of the new gen and then work from there. I'm like, that's what it should be.
Right.
But as far as whether it's programming, graphics, or whatever, it should always be okay. It's just like each level of schooling. Like you go from fifth grade. Well, some places they go to sixth in elementary school and then they go to middle school. In my case, fifth grade was the end of elementary school, and now you're at the base of middle school. Get to eighth grade, you go from the higher end of middle school to the low end of high school. I'm like, that's the way it should work. But these companies, they shortchange people with anything they put out there. But the only games that really seem to maximize the current gen are the games that don't come out every year. That's a organic issue that
Well, I
sports
mean, that's
games are
another. I
dealing
mean,
with. Yeah.
sports games are not dealing. They're dealing with situations where they have to come out every year. It's kind of curtailing them anyway. So, and to be honest, that may be maybe coming to an end next generations, but that one could actually hope. Let's see. Chris
Ravens
Thomas,
Nation put in. Oh, go ahead with Kurt. Go,
Chris
Chris.
Thomas always said that but that sim you just put on sim mode and the vision combine the throwing meter to me would be the perfect throwing mechanic in my opinion.
No, no,
That wouldn't be
no.
bad though.
It wouldn't be bad, but it's the play quarterback is too dynamic of a position to have both on at the same time.
Yeah.
It's too dynamic of a situation because remember, it's a good idea in theory if you have the time, which at quarterback, you are not going to have the time to sit there and be able to like do it all at once, move the cone, snap the cone, and then you're possibly the meter, you're talking about holding it and then releasing it at a certain time, which already accounts for bullet, touch, and lob. So
I don't have a problem with the way the throwing mechanics are in current games. They just need to mean something. I mean, when you do press, like you said, bullet, lob or
Mm-hmm.
touchback, I don't have a problem with it. Just they just need to mean something. Like when you throw with a certain quarterback, they shouldn't be throwing the same as the next quarterback. And I think that's one of the problems that we do have is like for me, I can play certain games. If I put a certain quarterback in, he's just not going to make the throw. They're
Mm-hmm.
just not. And that's how it's supposed to be. They're not supposed to make that throw. But you have, like Kurt Madden's, like you can pretty much make certain throws with most quarterbacks. I'm not saying that there's no differentiation, but for the most part, if you're a middle of the road quarterback, you can make him into something bigger than what he is. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that we really need to think about because you want something a little different. Maybe, with the program, maybe they can do something like that.
Well, they need to figure something out. Like I said, Trip Hawk, as far as Madden is concerned, Trip Hawkins is still out here in these streets. They want to figure out what the source code is so they can finally fix all the legacy issues. Man, why? What about their ego is so hard about just asking the man, like, hey, you created Madden. How do we link your source code with our current
Well, I
code?
mean,
Because they are conflicting like crazy.
I just think at the end of the day, the problem is they're making too much money. They're making money off of what they
Yeah.
have over non-gameplay stuff. They're
Mm-hmm.
making money off of flash and pizzazz and not football.
Mm-hmm.
Doug Thomas asked me something real quick. He said, "Do you think they should bring back the vision code?" They can't. I don't mind it. It should always be optional. The more, the better. But you're gonna have a lot of people that just not gonna have they're not gonna have good memories of it because they were bitching about it back then.
Mm.
Ravens Nation also said throwing mechanics from Fever are all pro. Do you realize Fever's throwing mechanics was actually a meter? It was somewhat of a meter because everything was done with the analog stick. So the throwing was with the analog stick. So that was your meter, how light or how fast you pull that meter. If you pull it if you pull the analog stick, it'll be a bullet. If you tap it, it'll be a lob. So that was already somewhat of a meter. Pooh is in the chat. What's going on? How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's switch over to I know we talked about basketball a bit. What do you think they really need to do with NBA 2K or even if live come out? What do you think they need to do with that?
Well, I put out a tweet earlier in the week, and it seems like they're like what's going on with those games, what's going to happen with next gen. It seems like the community is going to carry live into the next generation, and I think the devs are going to carry 2K into the next generation with the community, the 2K community pulling down the franchise. And it's already, and to me, from what I'm seeing, it's already starting. I'm like, the fact that the community has gotten these devs so off focus from the basics, like controller settings not being addressed for years. I'm like, that's a basic thing. To simple one-to-one movement. I'm sitting there looking at Czar's stream, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out how can I get my player to move like that. But it's just like, okay, well, what are your settings? But what's going on in your game where I can't get the same type of flow, whatnot, from the AI? Um, with the live community, these devs are just they've wasted a whole generation with live. It's a shame what that team and you do have some hard-working devs over there, but it's just a shame what they have done with this franchise to the fact that you've gone through 2 cancellations. The only thing they really produced that survived was the street portion of it. That's why everyone's clamoring for an NBA Street title. Just
Right.
so it's just like you did all this to bring back a series that was about NBA basketball, and the best you can do, the best you were able to do, was produce an NBA Street product under the guise of NBA Live. That's I'm like, and the community is going to keep that going. I don't know. I really don't know what besides probably get a new dev team, refocus them, get them in the locker room, put a fire under their ass, and figure out what do you really want to do. Because last generation, it was supposed to be that we were different. It was supposed to be about let's start with the basics. Let's focus on the basketball.
I'm gonna be quite honest, DJ. I don't think the game is ever coming back. I'm just gonna be quite honest. I don't, especially if it comes up on the NBA Live. It's a death wish. Nobody's going to buy the game. Nobody's going to really, care for the game. It has a bad reputation. If EA Sports want to make a basketball game, they either make an NBA Street, or if they want to make a sim game, they need to ditch the name NBA Live, because the game has a bad connotation to it. Now, do I think that they can make a game? Yeah, I think they can make a game. I just don't think NBA Live, the game, will come back. If it does, they're going to probably get maybe 100, maybe 200,000 copies sold, and that's being generous. That's just how I feel. I mean, when you look at Live just going to have to come out with something really, really good to be even on close with 2K, because 2K, I'm gonna tell you right now, 2K visually is going to go to the next level. 2K is going to give you, even though with their monetization is kind of weird, they're going to be giving you something that's consumer. I ain't gonna say consumer, that's gamer friendly to the gamers, that they're going to want to buy their shit. Live is just going to be left in the dust with that name. They're just going to have to come up with another name. They're going to have to come out with a different concept. And quite frankly, they should have did what they did with Live 16 and just made it a street ball game. Something like that would have been better. And but if they try to compete with 2K, I don't think they're going to, it's not going to go well for them. And I hate to say it, but that's going to be the case.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, Doug Thomas just said the same thing. He said Live is finished. And that doesn't mean that EA Sports basketball is finished. You just can't come out with a game with that name anymore. You just can't. I mean, people look at that name and be like, "Oh hell no, I'm not buying it because of the name." They're just not. I mean, it just has a bad connotation to it.
Honestly, I'm just tired of the same companies that have been doing basketball, hockey. Obviously, it's automatic with football. I'm tired of the same company. I'm tired of seeing their interpretation of these sports. I want to see other companies attempt to do these sports. I want to see another company do a hockey game. Like 2K actually had the better hockey product.
Yeah, that's why I feel about Madden. I think Madden is. I have a lot of jet lag from Madden. I'm seeing the same thing for 14 years. And it's not that to say I want Madden to go away. I think it's just time to see something different. And I think I don't care how much somebody likes Madden or love Madden. I just think that is an honest and fair opinion to have. Just let us see something different at this point.
Yeah, and Bravest Nation put in there, if you want to put his quote up, he says, I'm just waiting until you pull it up.
No, I already put it up. It's good. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I'm sitting there looking at it delayed and whatnot. Basically says, I'm more tired of EA. Ruined basketball. And shoot, definitely they ruined Battlefield, along with a few other game series. Yeah, EA has been the eater of all gaming studios that they acquire. And then any games they pick up, they run it into the ground. Battlefield definitely has been. I haven't touched Battlefield in months.
Well, I will say this: Battlefield 5 was fine until they killed off the TTK. Battlefield because you got to think about it. At one point, Battlefield was so terrible, headshots wasn't even registering. Now I'm pretty sure Pooh can attest to this. I mean, it was really bad for like a good 3 or 4 months, and then they fixed it in like the next 6 or 7. It was really smooth, and then now this TTK thing, nobody wants to play the game now. I mean, that's just the thing. Battlefield 5 was actually on point at one point, but I think the thing is, even people could feel that EA ruined these games, and I feel that they could have done better overall. I just think at this point, it's not even about them ruining these games. It's just that you just want to see something done differently. You just want to see somebody's ideas being implemented differently with the sports.
Well, with Battlefield, it was more one of the developers at DICE that pretty much that pretty much shot Battlefield in the foot. It was one of those instances where they wanted to make it more. They definitely aimed it because it was supposed to be based on World War II, and they made it loosely based, like very loosely based on World War II. They made it so they basically put the SJW
Yeah, they put that
footprint on it,
they put
and
the SJW spin and
and
that was all she
then
wrote.
and then they the guy doubled down on it. Now the guy is no longer with Dice because mainly because he took so much heat for it. It was just like, well, what I wanted to make a game so my daughter would be able to look and see that she could, she belonged. And I was just like, but it's World War II. What is she learning about World War II? That was the point. That was the reason why you went back into the World Wars. You did World War One correctly. World War II needs to be done correctly too. I'm like, that was your intent, that you
Well, I
were
mean,
going back in time to recreate, not recreate history, but to like simulate the environment around that time period. And you don't get, I don't, not that I've fought in World War II or anything, but when you watch the documentaries of World War II, there's stuff in Battlefield 5 that you don't see or feel, and that should have been there.
Excuse me. The thing about Battlefield, like they try to tell us they're trying to teach us something, and they was the one that was giving us a bad lesson with the SJW stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, it's just, they need to just make the games like with Ravens Nation said right here. The last real Battlefield was Battlefield 4. Bad Company 2 and BF3 was his favorite. Well, Battlefield 4 did an excellent job of depicting war. Even it wasn't a sim as like a squad or insurgency. They did a good balance of both, where it was like military sim and it was still like a fun game to play. They did a good job with that. Let's see. Pooh said, "I want you to know that that game has so much potential." He's talking about BF5. But I'm not going to talk about Anthem. Yeah, Anthem.
Nobody's talking about Anthem. That's how bad that game is.
And I'm not even going to say that's definitely EA's fault 100%. I just think the devs made a bad game at the end of the day. I just don't think the game was a good game.
Isn't it free to play at the moment?
I don't know what it is, but it was a good looking game. But the whole concept, this shooter looter stuff with whimsical characters, is just not. It just wasn't a good fit. I think it was just a bad game in general. It just looked cool in the trailer. Chris Thomas also said, "I want somebody else with their own vision for a football game." Yeah, like when we was young, we had 4 different types of NFL games. Yeah, I mean, I don't even need that many. Just give me one. Just give me another company that's trying to do something with the NFL license. I would like to see that. I think Ravens Nation also said that companies need to leave the World War II Vietnam atmosphere to PC companies. Only good World War II thing was done correctly was on console was Medal of Honor and the early version of Call of Duty. Yeah, well, that is true. World at War was really good. The first Call of Duty 2 was good as well. I do remember that. Let's see. Ravens Nation say, "Do y'all remember a game where everything was destructible? EA never released it in 2015."
Bad Company 2, a lot of the environment was destructible.
Right, it was
for Battlefield. So, and then they went back on. They definitely see, and it's funny because they had Bad Company 2, and then they did Battlefield 3, where they scaled back the destructibility. And then they did Battlefield 4. That's when they went like, okay, we don't have destructible environments, but we have set pieces that are destructible, like the giant tower at at Shanghai, where you hit certain points and then that tower comes crumbling down. To this day, that is probably the best looking set piece of destruction. I forgot what they called it.
Levolution.
Levolution. That was the best depiction of anything collapsing in the middle of the game.
That was pretty good.
That could completely change the environment that you fought in.
It changed the entire map, actually.
Right. And Battlefield 5 actually went back to the formula of Bad Company 2. So I'm like, that was a good thing that I liked about Battlefield 5, but everything else is just total crap. I mean, not total crap, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, Bad Company 2 was really fun. Again, it was so fun that I ended up having to get it on PC. I got a physical copy of it on PC when I was at Micro Center at one time, and I've been playing it on PC for like the past few months, on and off. And it's just amazing how much detail they had in that game when they actually started to use Frostbite the way it was. Like they've been toning back Frostbite is in the sense of first person shooters for a while now, but when it was used to the high level of its potential, it was really good. Like for instance, if you have an Xbox One right now, go to and people still play this game. Go to Battlefield 1943. It's free on Xbox Game Pass. Just download it and just watch the destruction in Battlefield 1943. That destruction is better than some of the games that EA has put out recently. It's a shame where they just don't use that level of destruction like they used to, because it was actually really, really good. I don't know. It's just kind of weird how they don't use that anymore. I don't know. It's just something that it really it's something to think about. Maybe like we said in the next consoles, not only with sports gaming, we will. I think definitely outside of sports, we will see a jump in other games like because the next Battlefield's not coming out to 2022. So we should expect to see a really big leap in that. I don't even know what Call of Duty's doing, but I like what Call of Duty did with the current game. That game is actually pretty decent outside of the craziness on multiplayer, but Call of Duty's always been jacked up on multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
But you see like these other games, I think it's going to be really fun to watch. I don't think it's going to be anything that'll blow us away, because I'm just looking at the specs. I think it's going to be just a high-end type of PC that's actually going to give us some type of satisfaction when it comes to, some type of performance boost where it should have been in the first place. I think more games will be 60 frames. Hopefully the resolution will stick at the same time. And I just think at the end of the day, it will work. And I think that's going to be great. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Anything else you got to add to that?
I really don't have anything else. I felt like I ranted earlier about what I wasn't looking forward to going into sports gaming 2020, especially with the new consoles. It's just that they a lot of games, and don't get me wrong, I look at 2K and they definitely gave us the standard as far as depth in modes. So when it comes to modes, a lot of the sports games did it very well. It's just that, Madden and Live kind of, shit the bed when it came to that, because, and don't let anybody tell you any different. Yes, MUT is the reason why we don't have the depth in franchise. I don't believe it for 1 second that MUT didn't have anything to do with why. That's, people keep saying that.
You got to think about it. Once you realize that when they decided to give Superstar KO not only a mode of itself, and when they enhanced that mode before they did franchise, that's all you needed to know when it came to how they really feel about franchise mode, because franchise mode is their longest standing mode, and they act like they can't do nothing with it. But with Superstar KO, brand new mode, they did everything with it.
And then also, there's one more thing. I just realized this. This was also the generation where the devs got chased off of Twitter. I gotta think about that.
I didn't even think about that. And most devs haven't been back since.
Right, and it's just like, well, maybe you should address the issues, or maybe the suits about, like, particularly in Madden, maybe the suits should have like giving you the reins to be able to address these issues, so you wouldn't have been chased off of Twitter. And then I think in 2K's instance, it was just sensitivity levels on the devs' part. I know Bills had an issue. Well, you and Bills, I think, have a particular issue with Czar and Mike Wang. What nickname did I give him?
I can't remember.
I forgot the name. Chat, if you can remember the nickname, there's Bills. Yeah, if there was a nickname.
Didn't you call him Twitter Mike?
No, I called him something else.
Oh, I called him Twitter Mike, I think.
It was something having to like he was a pushover or something like that. I can't remember the nickname I gave him. Damn, it was a good one too. I think we all shared a laugh over it because he just wanted to like fix stuff for everybody. He wanted to like please everybody. And the thing is, it's like I'm not a game dev, but come on, if I was making a game, I would know damn well that I'm not going to please everybody with what I'm about to make. And then if there was an intent for making this game the way I made it, that would be my hardcore base of why I don't make certain changes. And then people would have to adjust to the way I made the game. But unfortunately, the industry is about making money off the game. So there is a next game. And for the yearly titles, that means there is a next game. You're fulfilling your targets for the licensing deal. So, but we got bills here, so
yeah, my fault. I'm late. I was recording, man.
No,
okay.
You're good.
You're good.
Daniel hit me up on Facebook. I was like, "Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get in there as soon as possible."
And now a viewer count would go up.
Oh man,
it's all good. No worries.
What y'all been talking about?
Just saying stuff that you see in the stuff that you see in the topics. Basically that's all we've been talking about.
Yeah, and we kind of hit. It was a third topic that just organically popped up, and it was pretty much about like our coach, like our experiences, like not just in college, but like coaches that you've come across that taught you. I think it was really under the guise of us being African Americans and being coached, and how certain coaches have instilled in us things that other coaches that we played under just didn't take the time to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean it's just been pretty steady today. A lot of guys in the chat's been actually putting their 2 cents out about these games and college playoffs and not too much anything but anyway oh go ahead, what you about to say?
I'm about to say let's go back to the college playoffs. Bills.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
What are the matchups?
Yeah, Oklahoma and LSU.
Yes, that's 1 versus 4.
Yeah, and you got Ohio State versus Clemson. Oklahoma has 3 players that are, I think, 3 starters out due to suspension.
So my thing with Oklahoma, I don't really think that Oklahoma's going to be able to slow down LSU. That's the first thing. I have no question that LSU can somewhat slow down Oklahoma, but I don't think Oklahoma can slow down LSU.
That's pretty much what I was saying as well.
So I got LSU on that one. I definitely got LSU on that one. I think the Ohio State one's a bit more difficult. This is gonna be the best offense they faced. I want to go with Clemson, but man, this is tough.
Yeah, it was. To me, I basically said it was a push 'em game.
Yeah, because I feel like this will be the first All-American defensive lineman that Lawrence is really gonna have to face with Chase Young. I don't know what they're gonna do as far as blocking him. Because he can wreck the game for him, but I'll go with Clemson. I'll go with Clemson in a nail biter. I think Lawrence will ball out, but I mean he's had a couple shaky games this year, so
I think Clemson's defense is kind of suspect, but because Justin Fields and that running back are like really good, but like I said, it's pretty much a toss-up. You can't go wrong on either team, because both of them are good on both sides of the ball. There's not really much strength. I think that Clemson defense will have a problem with Justin Fields' dual threat, but I don't think it's going to be a problem enough to say that Ohio State will run away with the game.
Yeah, it's just like when you get down to this point in the season, it just really comes down to like which team can slow down the other team, because you got 4 great offenses here, obviously. So I think Oklahoma's probably the weakest defense out of all of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
So even if they do skate past the first game, I can't see them win the national championship. But what's interesting to me is that Trevor Lawrence really fell out of the Heisman talks. even while their team was still fairly dominant, and now Joe Burrow is like the guy. I kind of want to see him and Joe Burrow face off.
Who that? Lawrence and Burrow?
Yeah, I want to see that matchup because Burrow was the runaway favorite to win the Heisman before the season started, and Burrow comes up, and now he's the guy. He's going to be the number one pick next year. I really want to see that matchup. That's the matchup I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an NFL head, definitely you'll want to see that because those two guys are going to NFL. Justin Fields, I'm not sold on him being an NFL prospect yet. So I kind of understand where you're coming from. I definitely
Fields. I haven't watched much of him, so I can't really say one way.
He's your typical athletic college quarterback. You see what I'm saying?
So he's like Troy Smith.
No, I would say he's a mix between Troy Smith and Tim Tebow because he's big and he can actually run.
Okay.
Well, I ain't say big and he actually get big and actually can throw in college.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I mean,
you see what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
I put like I'll give you a better example. He's an athletic Cardell Jones.
I'll tell you this. Did Georgia make a playoff during Jake Fromm's stint?
Oh yeah, they went to the national championship.
Yeah, they did. I'm tripping. Didn't they made two, right? Did they make two? I feel like they made.
No, they made one. They played against Alabama. Yeah, they played one.
And it's crazy, bro. All that talent.
I think something telling me Jake Fromm's not going to be good in the NFL.
I'm starting to question him too. I mean,
if you told me this last year, I'd have been smoking crack. But right now, I don't think he's going to be that guy.
He's one of those. I won't even say Jameis Winston types. He's like one of those.
I'm not going to disrespect him.
No. I'm saying as far as his inconsistency, if I could compare him to one quarterback in the NFL, it would probably be someone like a Jameis Winston. Like he has all the tools, but some games either he's just not all there or he just can't harness it and be consistently great because Jameis Winston's had great games this year. And then the next game is like, what the fuck are you doing on the football field? I Fromm is the same thing. He'll have a great game one week, and the next week you're like, how is he still starting? So it's I
got a feeling that he's going to be somewhere like, he's going to be like one of those middle of the road like quarterbacks that made it to the league. Like he's going to be like what's that guy? Goodness, he played for the Cowboys and he came out of Oklahoma State. Brandon Weeden.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be like a Brandon Weeden type.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? He's gonna be like one of those middle of the road NFL backup quarterback. I don't see him being one of those guys I don't see him being one of those guys that will come straight out and just in ball in NFL. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's just that what you see right now, I don't see it.
He strikes me as a guy like Connor Cook. Remember, Connor Cook was supposed to be a guy that really came out and was going to be, a bit promising as far as a starting quarterback. He never really got the chance, but Jake Fromm, I can see, depending on what team he ends up, and he's not going to end up on a team where they automatically need a starter because he's not going to go that high. So it might end up being like a Connor Cook type situation where you just get stuck behind guys and you go somewhere else and get stuck behind that guy. It's like, that's what I could easily see. Like he's going to have to carve his niche as a backup because he's just too inconsistent.
I mean, he looks like he has all the tools to do it.
He does.
Something telling me that he's not going to be that guy.
So did Connor Cook. So did Zach Mettenberger. What happened? They're not bad quarterbacks, but they
just couldn't find their way in the NFL.
Yeah. And that could be that and that's the issue when you start trying to assess quarterbacks like in college. Obviously you can see the guys who are going to go to the league and just kill it, but nowadays it's not that easy.
I mean, the thing is nowadays when you look at scouts that are watching players,
when
you look at scouts that's watching players, that's basically what they're doing. They're learning and they're seeing what they have in front of them as far as off the field, because on the field everybody can see what they can do, and we're not saying that we're experts in anything, but we can see enough to know, like, wait a minute. Like, I knew Dak Prescott was going to be an NFL quarterback. I saw that in Mississippi State. I knew he was going to be something. I didn't think he was going to be like a starter that he was, but I didn't think he was going to be one of those guys that's just not going to be there. A Carson Wentz, or when you had like other players that came out like who else? Like when I saw what's the guy that used to play for the one that you always ragging on, DJ?
Cool. The
Oh,
DJs, the one DJ is always riding on.
yeah, the one DJ always talking about. Play for the Vikings.
Oh, Kirk Cousins.
Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins.
I knew Kurt was going to be pretty decent. I knew that.
Well,
Like-
I was talking about. I didn't understand why Washington took Kirk, and then obviously we saw why. But like, I was like, why are they taking two quarterbacks who are eventually going to be starters?
Right.
Put them on the same team, and then I said, "Oh, a mutiny." I get it, but like that's what I was saying. Is like Kirk Cousins came out, and I was very high on Kirk Cousins. People remember, but yeah, it didn't make sense. Like why they put him on the same team,
right? And then my main thing is like, yo, you drafted him in the third, fourth round, and you already had RG3 as like top 10 pick. Like, why would you do that? That was kind of weird.
And the funny thing about that was like the media, the local media, and fans were just trying to turn them against each other when it was never that way between them two, and that's the crazy part.
All right.
So
I have a question for y'all. Hurts is gonna come out this year. Do you think obviously he gets drafted? What round do you think he gets drafted?
I'm gonna be surprised if he actually gonna be picked as a quarterback. I'm gonna be honest with you. He still has problems throwing the ball.
I say second, like maybe late second, early third rounder.
I mean, the thing is, he's going to be a part of that phenomenon because you had a Lamar Jackson and others actually be, successful. So I get it, but I don't even think he has the arm of those guys.
I said this years ago, and I maintain it regardless of what I've seen this year against a weak Big 12 that can't stop anybody. I don't think he's going to be a quarterback. That's think what I'm saying. He may be drafted as a quarterback. He will not be a quarterback past the first or second year of his career. I could easily see him being drafted somewhere in the third round, and I could see a team that says, you know what, fuck it. We'll try him at quarterback, but in the back of our minds, we know for a fact, like, it's going to be like a Brad Smith or Terrell Pryor type thing, where you'll use him in certain formations like they do Taysom Hill, same thing. And he'll be even more dangerous Taysom Hill because he's a lot more athletic. No knock against Taysom Hill, but I mean, he's an elite athlete. He is that. But it's gonna be very interesting to see which team takes him and when they take him, like how far is he gonna drop? Obviously, he's not a first rounder, probably in a second rounder. Third to fourth might be where he gets picked somewhere along there. And it won't be a team with a real need for quarterback, I don't think. I think they'll just take a chance.
Yeah, I don't see it personally. I see him probably getting drafted, but I don't see him being anything special. It's just I've always had my reserves about Jalen Hurts when he first came in, even in college. It's just something about him.
He's not.
He's a great kid. He has maturity, and he seems like he's a good guy as a football player. But as far as you going to the next level and trying to kill it, I don't see that.
Like, think about this, okay? Everybody bashed Lamar Jackson's ability to throw the football, and he was an exceptional thrower of the football in college.
See,
so just imagine
that's the thing. He could throw the ball. He actually could have throw the ball. I don't see that in Jalen Hurts.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like Lamar Jackson could throw the ball really well in college. He got to the NFL. He had some struggles early on because he had to rely on his athleticism while he catches up with the speed of the game. That's just how it is. Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball well at the college level.
Right.
So once he gets to the pros, it's going to be even worse.
Right. And I think he's a football player.
How tall is he? 6'4", 6'3", 6'4"?
He's 6'2".
Oh, God.
I just thought, unless they instill those intangibles in him and learn how to read a good defense, I think he'll be fine, but that's almost a stretch.
Doug Thomas said he'll be a good slot receiver. Here's the thing, though. I don't think he has that athleticism to be a slot receiver, but at 6'2" and he's kind of built, damn, it's going to be tough to really play. He might end up being like a fourth string receiver, like in a weak size slot, instead of like an Edelman or a guy like that. I don't know, man. It's going to be hard for him to carve his niche in the league the more than I think about it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't think he's going to be bad. It's just that
he's a football player, like you said. It's just I don't know, man. Like the thing with him that also gets me, he went pretty much unopposed with that Alabama job, and everybody fell in love with Alabama's great team surrounded around him. And as soon as he ran into a team that was as good as Alabama, and he didn't have the team around him that quarterbacks there usually have, that's when he really started to get exposed. And Tua came in and stole that damn job. And everybody's going to talk about, well, what about when Jalen Hurts came in and he brought him back against Georgia? Yeah, that was like 2 fucking quarters. That was 2 quarters of a game.
And not only that, it was against Georgia. I mean, come on.
It was against Georgia. So
they're known for choking.
So it's like, I get it, but at the same time, you're a 5th-year starter. You haven't been able to really mature as a passer and show us that you've matured to the point where you'd be a good passer at the next level. That's a bit of a head scratcher to me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So
well, yeah. Let's transition real quick since you're here. You want to talk about the NFL picks that we had?
I thought we did that on Tuesday.
No, yeah, we're about to make picks.
You're about to make picks. That's what I'm saying.
You said picks we had. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yo, my manager's crazy.
What happened?
She's like listening to the final version of the song I sent her, and she's like going crazy about it. And
like
about
good, bad?
Good crazy.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, week 16. Sheesh.
Yeah, we have some. We definitely have some clinching scenarios here. I know I was discussing something with somebody earlier.
All right, this is weird. There's only 3 1 o'clock games. There's like a shit ton of 4 o'clock games I'm looking at. All right, let's.
Wait, are you sure? Could 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh no!
5,
You know
6,
this.
7,
I was looking at the Saturday.
Those
Saturday game. Saturday game. Okay. So yeah, right out the box, we're gonna do Bills and Patriots, and I'm going on record as saying the Bills are gonna take this one.
You think so?
Yes. I think they tied for the division leader.
Wait a minute, which game?
Okay.
Oh, this game playing in. Oh boy. Because there's no game going on tonight.
No.
All those games on Saturday.
Yeah, they're starting Saturday now.
Wow.
That's why I got confused. I was like, "Oh, these 1 o'clock game," and I'm looking. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I get
it." Yeah, that's a triple header. Hopefully, all of them are on TV.
Yeah, they will be.
I'm picking New England on this one.
I'm taking the Bills.
I think New England stays in it for another week, but with Baltimore, what's going to happen with Baltimore is that I think they're going to win out and ultimately claim that home field throughout the playoffs. Situation.
Okay, we got the Texans and the Buccaneers. This is an interesting one to me because you got Deshaun Watson on the road, which I never really pick against. But on top of that, you got Jameis Winston, who's been playing pretty well.
I think it's going to be a shootout.
It's definitely going to be a shootout. Give me the Bucks.
I'm taking the Texans.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Texans on this one. It'll be a shootout. Let's game inside the game. How many interceptions will Winston throw? There was one. Somebody asked the question: at what point in the game was he going to throw his first interception?
Well, he's going to throw his first interception in the first quarter, and I think he throws 2. I think 2. I think he throws 4 touchdowns, 2 picks.
I think he throws 3 interceptions all in the third quarter.
Oh, Lord.
Jesus.
No, I got him for 3 and 3.
Okay.
3 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's an interesting one.
Chat, y'all can chime in too on that. That's definitely an open-ended question for everybody.
And then the last game, we got the Rams and the 49ers. Both of these teams really have something to play for here, so this should be a really good one.
Yeah, 49ers trying to stay in that number 1 spot.
I actually think
because since they lost, they dropped all the way down to that 5th spot in the wild card.
I think this is going to be a really good game, and I think the 49ers to pull it out. I think Jared Goff is going to be overwhelmed by the defense, but he will get some shine. But I think at the end of the day, I think the defense is going to be a little bit too much, and 49ers pull it out.
Yeah, I got the 49ers on that one too.
I don't know. I hate picking these Rams games because I don't know which Rams team is going to show up week to week. I just give me the Niners. Yeah, give me the Niners.
Yeah, I'm taking the Niners as well.
Just to give a little update to go back on that clinching scenario, all the Ravens have to do is just win.
Yeah.
And they clinch home field throughout the playoffs.
Well, let's get to that. Let's get to that pick first, and then we'll talk about that.
They play Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Baltimore plays Cleveland.
Steelers and the Jets.
Jets. Oh, okay, there it is.
I think Adam Gase has lost his team. Said it last week. I maintain that.
Okay.
Steelers have to win to stay in it. They're tied right now with the Titans. Give me the Steelers.
I'm gonna pick the Jets because it's gonna come down to the quarterbacks. It's definitely gonna come down to quarterbacks, and
that's a good point.
And I think Devlin or Duck or wherever you want to call him is still shaken from last week. So I'm like, he's motivated to play better, but that means he's going to do things that he normally doesn't do. Sam Darnold is going to do what Sam Darnold does anyway.
Who you got, VF?
Oh, I'm taking the Jets. I don't want to, but I got a feeling the Jets will beat the Steelers and knock them out.
I hope for that, but Steelers always seem to fucking hang around.
No, I'm telling you, if the Steelers win, it's not because of the Steelers. It's the Jets fucked up. I got a feeling that it's not going to be on the Jets. It's not going to be on the Steelers that, we won this game because we beat the Jets. No, the Jets are going to find a way to fuck it up.
I mean, it's like the Steelers just always seem to just hang around this time of year. It's kind of annoying because I don't like them. But battle of the 5 and 9 teams. Jaguars and the Falcons. I got the Falcons in a blowout.
Yeah, Falcons are going to blow these guys out. Falcons are actually been playing good ball throughout the entire, second half of the season. And, I mean, I'm not saying that to be a homer. I'm just being honest. They actually been playing pretty good ball. What the hell is going on with Jacksonville is just more of an indictment that they're just not going to be able to overcome what the Falcons can do on offense. I mean, they just don't have it.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Falcons on this one, too. The fact that Jacksonville has gotten the most complaints from the NFLPA, I'm starting to wonder, has anybody on the Redskins sent any complaints on behalf of the NFL? The NFLPA sent any complaints to the Redskins on behalf of them? Yeah.
And by the way, fuck Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin fined Leonard Fournette $100,000 for being inactive and sitting on the bench. He's a whole ass nigga, and fuck him.
But he basically was Jacksonville, though, that identity wise.
Yeah, losers. Anyway,
well, he had a winning record when he was a head coach.
Yeah, fuck him. That was ancient history.
And they went. Didn't they? It was either them or Carolina. They went to the playoffs their first year in existence.
He can eat a dick. That's how I feel. Ravens and the Browns. Does anybody have the courage to pick the Browns here?
No.
My
tail is
to be honest with
between
you,
my legs, and I'm picking Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm picking Baltimore too. But I'll say if it wasn't, the stakes wasn't so high, I wouldn't be so quick to pick the Ravens. But the Ravens know they're going to have a home field advantage, so they're going to play lights out. If it was just another divisional game, it'd be damn near like a pick 'em because they played their rivals. But the fact that the Ravens know if they win this game to get home field, the Browns they're done.
Browns fans are demoralized. I don't see there being any type of rivalry atmosphere here.
I seen the comments Hugh Jackson made about I can't remember
Baker?
Yeah, and the comments were like, look, he just needs to get his mojo back. And I'm sitting there thinking, why was there so much animosity? That seemed like it was one-sided between Mayfield and Hugh Jackson.
That's simple.
Let me tell you something. Like, the more I listen to Hugh Jackson talk, Hugh Jackson seems like he has a brilliant football mind. I just don't think he's in. I don't think he's good at coaching. I think he'll be one of those guys that'll probably be like a good scout. He'll probably be maybe like
a position coach.
Yeah, like a good position. But to be honest with you, he might not be that bad as an assistant head coach. But just actually being the figurehead and the top guy of a team, I don't think he has it. I mean,
so the thing with Baker Mayfield, I think, was a bit overblown because he basically was just mad because Hugh Jackson went back to Cincinnati and it's within the division, so I can kind of understand it. But it'd be different if Hugh Jackson quit; he got fired.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to go back to the Cincinnati job, where he pretty much built his career and kind of just get his love for football back after that whole debacle in Cleveland. I don't see anything wrong with that, but I wasn't taking sides in that situation. Overall, I just think that whole thing was, I guess, a bit overblown. Baker clearly does have some type of animosity, but it's more so the emboldened bullshit football animosity that grows over time where it's like, oh, well, he went in the division, and it's just stupid. It's pointless, stupid, but he's been taught to feel that way. If his head coach got fired and he went to Oklahoma State, it'd be the same shit. He'd say the same thing. So that's just football. But Hugh Jackson, what he's saying about Baker getting his mojo back, let's be honest. Baker doesn't get much blame for how he's playing other than by the people who tell it like it is, so he should have never lost his mojo. He never takes the blame and fucking self.
And to be honest with you, that could be a serious problem going down the road for him because he does not – it's not even him deflecting the blame. They just don't blame him.
And he doesn't address it. So it's like at least Carson Wentz will say, look, I need to play better. But Baker Mayfield doesn't get blamed. And then on top of that, and I hate to be a conspiracy theorist here, but I'm going to be for a second. I feel like all these pieces that they brought in were just pieces that if they underperformed, they could blame instead of blaming Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Like Odell.
Mm.
So you're trying to think that
you get him.
You trying to say? So are you trying to say that the front office kind of an enabler?
Of course they are. 100%. John Dorsey is 100% a Baker Mayfield endorser. Think about it. Todd Haley was hard on Baker Mayfield. He's gone. Hugh Jackson wouldn't start Baker Mayfield. He's gone. Freddie Kitchens starts Baker Mayfield, lets him do what he wants. Oh, shit, we might bring him back next year. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's like...
So what you think the score is going to be?
38-14.
Oh, you think they're going to get 14 on them?
I think they'll get 14 on them, but it'll be 14 in the fourth quarter. It'll be, I take it back. It'll be one quick touchdown. Oh, shit, the Browns are in it. 7-zip, and then they won't score again until the fourth quarter. Then it'll be a garbage time touchdown and 38-14.
I'm guessing along the lines of 41-3.
Yeah, RG3 is going to play in this game again. RG3 has got more playing time playing with Baltimore that he's had in the last few years. So this will be another game. He'll and technically go up against an old team. I have not seen him go against the Redskins at any point ever since he left. Not even preseason. So been waiting on that one. Hopefully we get it next year. Hopefully they keep him around, and then it would have to be a blowout situation.
Yeah, like I said, I think maybe 7, but I'm thinking they're going to drop 40 on them.
Yeah,
and I think it'd be like 41-3, 41-7, something like that.
So this next one also has some playoff implications. You got the Saints and the Titans. I'm gonna take the Titans here.
No, really?
Yep. I'm gonna take the Titans here.
See what this game
they're playing in Tennessee. I'm taking the Saints.
I'm gonna.
It's a hard one.
I'm going with Tennessee on this one.
Yeah.
going to Tennessee. They're outdoors.
Oh, wait, though.
There.
Here's the thing. Derrick Henry's been sitting out practice. He's hurt.
I think he's playing though.
He almost has to. I mean,
Yeah, I think he's gonna play.
Yeah, and the Saints are pretty comfortable where they're and the Saints are pretty much comfortable where they're at playoff wise. They're not slipping any. They're
not rising. They're not falling. It doesn't seem like
right,
in the position they're in.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm sure after these picks, we should look at these possible matchups. Because this is
yeah, we'll definitely do that. Yeah, so that was gonna be interesting. Panthers and the Colts. There's no playoff implications here.
This two teams of what could have been.
I got the Panthers. I think CJ. I think Christian McCaffrey is trying to, at this point, just get Offensive Player of the Year since Lamar Jackson kind of swooped in and took that MVP consideration. So I see him having a big game. I mean, come on, the Colts gave up one fucking completion. I have to remind people.
Oh boy,
gave up one completion to the Saints.
I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
Yeah,
I'm taking Colts.
That's bold.
Yeah, I'm taking Colts. I think the Colts will beat the Panthers. I think the Panthers quarterback will just be overwhelmed once again, and the Colts will take the win.
Oh God, who the fuck wants to watch this game? The Bengals at the Dolphins. The Dolphins should want to lose this game. The Bengals will do everything in their power to lose this game. Give me the Dolphins because they're too dumb to start losing games.
Yeah, and one of us is going to lose this game because everyone loses in this. Aspect.
If
I had to pick one, I'd pick Miami.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Miami as well.
Yeah, I come on. I mean, whoever watches that game. Like,
yeah, I think Miami takes it.
All right. Well, battle of 3-11s. Giants and the Redskins. The Eli Manning farewell tour continues, and I think Haskins is gonna outplay that man wholeheartedly.
If the Redskins can't stop the run, then Eli's gonna have a field day.
Yeah.
But I'm picking the Redskins because Dwayne Haskins keeps getting better each time he comes out. And now that chemistry is building with him and McLaurin, it's just about now, if it wasn't for freaking Steven Sims dropping passes and making dumb mistakes, well, you got to remember, we have 3 rookie wide receivers that are going to eventually grow together with their quarterback if the front office recognizes this and doesn't try to mess up their chemistry by bringing in a big free agent. At this point, we don't need a big free agent at wide receiver. We need to have those 3 of McLaurin, Harmon, and Sims. Sims is a definite in the slot. He has, they've described his move set as elite for a slot guy and for any guy moving on that field. So I'll say the Redskins, this will be a close game. Redskins pull it out.
Redskins and Giants, right?
Yep.
Redskins by 10 points.
10.
And actually, this is their last. Let's see. They have won a home game before. Matter of fact, it was against. Wait a minute. Have they won a home game this year? Hold up. Let me check this out. I had to go in the standings because I don't think they've won a home game this year. Oh, no. Go ahead and make your pick. I'm just checking something out.
Who you got, Bills?
Oh, I didn't pick. I picked the Redskins.
They did. Okay, they did win a home game, but they've only won one home game this year.
Everybody got the Redskins, right?
Yeah.
Next game. Oh my God, these games. Lions and the Broncos.
I'm taking Broncos off
Yeah.
the road.
Yeah, I'm taking Broncos. Detroit's just another lost season.
Broncos did wet the bed. I'll give them that, but I'm taking the Broncos in this.
I've been burnt by the Lions like 5 times this year. Fuck the Lions at this point. So I'm taking the Broncos.
Yeah, I think Drew Lock. I actually think Drew Lock's he's gonna bounce back, have a pretty good day. He's probably gonna have like 280, 2 touchdowns, no picks.
And they're in Denver.
Yeah, I'll give him at least 280, 2 touchdowns, maybe one pick.
Raiders and the Chargers.
That's a bottom feeder game.
I see the Raiders limping somewhere towards 8-8, so they would have to win this game to do that. I'll take the Raiders in this one. The Chargers I have zero faith in, especially Noodle Arm Rivers over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Oakland on this one.
Yeah, I'm taking Raiders too. I have no faith in the Chargers.
What could have been, huh? Okay, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Cowboys and the Eagles. This is a division championship game.
Yep, this is for the division. They're in Philly.
I got Cowboys.
Cold. I don't know. I got Philly getting this one because Dallas. I got Philly winning this one, and somehow it's not gonna ease the tension in Philadelphia for them to pull out this victory because Wentz has been playing well down the stretch. So hopefully he keeps it going. But this is Philly's game to win.
Like I feel like I don't feel like this is literally a divisional championship game and a playoff eliminator at the same time because neither one of them have the record to get a wild card. So this is a playoff eliminator and a division game.
Yeah, because didn't the Cowboys win the first matchup between these two?
They cooked them, didn't they? No, wait. The Eagles won.
What was that now?
The Eagles won, didn't they? The first matchup.
The Cowboys beat the Eagles.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't know what. Whatever.
Yeah, the Cowboys beat them.
Yeah, so the Eagles definitely have to win to at least that head-to-head be even. Other than that, looking at the division record, that would pull them both at 4-1.
Who you got, VF?
I'm taking Cowboys.
Dallas would have in the conference.
If Dallas wins out, they're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Dallas wins, they're in.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a second. Cardinals and Seahawks, I don't see any way the Cardinals will beat them. Especially at home.
No, I don't see it either. It would be nice to see because, Cardinals, they turned into kind of a feel-good story. They're kind of bouncing back with the team they have, and, they started off with a lot of scrutiny, and they started to play pretty decent ball. It would be nice, but the Seahawks is going to beat them.
Yeah, I got Seahawks.
This is a funny game. The night game is the Chiefs and the Bears.
Oh God!
So here's one of those Mitch Trubisky national TV games.
Oh yeah, he's not going to Chiefs all the way.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Mitch Trubisky going to throw probably like 4 picks.
I can see the Chiefs defense starting to warm up here.
It's either that or he's going to be like 13 to 29, 145 or something like that. He's going to be terrible.
The defense of all places has to warm up in Chicago. It's going to be cold as hell in there.
And then this is not only a divisional game, but also this is a possible playoff eliminator for the Vikings. So you got the Packers and the Vikings Monday night. Bro. If there was any time I was going to flip a coin, it would be now.
Vikings and Packers Monday night. I'm taking Vikings.
I don't see right now. This doesn't eliminate anybody from the playoffs. This only because the Packers are already in.
True.
You know what? No. You're right.
The Vikings would be low.
What would happen? It would put the Vikings in danger because they have the 6th seed. If they would need to lose out, and the Rams would have to win out in order to swap places with them. I don't see.
True, yeah.
So that's the scenario there. So this game is to either get the Vikings into the playoffs or have them wait another week.
I really don't know who to pick here, bro.
Yeah, and on the Packers side, this would determine if they're the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed. Because right now, Seahawks, I guess by virtue of tiebreaker, have the number 1 seed.
Well, we're gonna get to the matchups, but I always say if the Packers are number 1 seed, their ass is going home in the first round, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But I'll take the Packers. I really don't know who to pick. I'm just gonna pick the Packers.
I think the Vikings defense will overcome what the Packers offense have. Their offense is good, but I don't think they're good enough. I think the Vikings defense will just get over them just a little bit.
Yeah, I think this game being at home. Wait a minute, Cook is out.
Yeah, that's offense though.
But they're gonna have to rely on Kirk Cousins. I know. Yeah, their defense is very good.
Wait, Cook. Dalvin.
Yeah.
I think they'll still be fine. I think the defense will show up enough.
I'm gonna pick Green Bay on this one. I was originally gonna pick Minnesota, but then I remembered Cook is out, and they're gonna have to rely on offense on Kirk.
Now, if you told me something like Anthony Barr was out or something, then you got me. But Dalvin Cook is their stability, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
because remember they toned down how often they relied on Kirk's arm. Kirk has been more efficient because of Cook, and now you're asking Kirk to do too much. He may start.
I still think. I think their defense will keep them in the game enough.
All right, it's gonna be interesting. Let's get to these. Let's get to these standings. So, as it stands right now, New England. Hold on, let me see something real quick.
You got there.
All right, so the Ravens are in first place in the AFC. They've clinched the division. The Chiefs have clinched the division, and the Patriots and Bills have both clinched playoff spots. So the matchups as they are right now, it would look like the Ravens would be facing.
No, the Ravens wouldn't be facing anybody. It would be Steelers and Steelers at the Chiefs, Bills at the Texans.
Ooh, Steelers at the Chiefs. I'd probably take the Chiefs.
Steelers at the Chiefs, no question. Chiefs is killing them.
Probably take the Chiefs. What was the other one?
Bills at Houston.
Ooh,
Texans.
That's going to be a good one.
I'd probably take the Bills, and usually going to Houston in the playoffs is not a good look for anybody in the first round. But I would probably take the Bills in that one. So that's interesting. Slide over to the NFC.
So you have the Vikings traveling to New Orleans as we speak, as of right now, and then
I'm taking the Vikings, no question.
And then
really?
Oh yeah, of course. It's Saints. It's Saints in the playoffs. No faith.
Yeah, that's true.
Kirk Cousins in the playoffs. No faith. So I would go with the Saints on that one. But then we have a classic playoff matchup between the 49ers and the Cowboys, with the Cowboys hosting that game. It would have been classic whether it was in San Francisco, but this would be a situation where people want to reseed these teams, because you got an 11-3 team traveling on the road to a 7-7 team. Well, hopefully at the time for Dallas, it'll be either 9-7, 8-7, 8-8, whatever.
I could see this being a situation similar to when New Orleans had to travel to Seattle. Everybody thought was shit. Like, Seattle's not that good. They just won the division. They're 7-9, and New Orleans will go in there and they'll get, they have a really unfair situation because they probably are the better team, but they're going to a ruckus. It's a playoff game. So on the road in a playoff game, it's just, it's crazy. But I could see that being similar here. I think the Dallas fans have been clamoring for a real shot at the Super Bowl, and I think the 49ers might lose that one.
The 49ers could lose that game, but I really don't want to get into picks just yet. But it's a high possibility that they could.
Yeah, we're just talking about potential matchups right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a high possibility. But I mean,
Now, who would the Seahawks be facing?
They're
I don't know.
the number one
They have a
seed.
bye. They have a bye.
Okay, I would buy. So
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah, them and Green Bay have a number one tie, and then the road would go through Seattle as we said, which is tough to play in the playoffs.
Very tough.
Just ask the Redskins that have been there
Very
twice in the playoffs, and then the fact that the Seahawks have beaten the Redskins in the playoffs three separate times. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I remember that one when Marshawn took off and cut back across the grain and trucked two dudes into the end zone.
But you know what? That was also the last game. You seen a safety on the Skins rack up almost 20 tackles.
Yeah.
That was shout out to Reed Dowdy.
Mm-hmm. But y'all want to get into some season awards real quick since the season's winding down? No, all right.
Yeah, I'll wait till the last game of this the season's over.
All right.
Yeah, and plus we're hitting a 2-hour mark, so
yeah. I didn't realize how quick this time went.
Oh yeah, we definitely ran through a lot of these topics. And
yeah, we was moving along pretty well. Anything y'all got in the chat real quick? Yay, nay, whatever. No. Because
what is he talking about?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What Pooh saying?
Nah, not Pooh.
Pelican, man. What was he talking about?
Oh, I don't have nothing to say.
Yusuf, but okay.
Yeah, I don't have nothing to say. I mean,
oh man,
guess what? We got him.
No, I mean my thing is just that I appreciate him coming through, but unlike everybody else, he does not really contribute to what everybody else is doing. He's kind of like offset with different type of chats that he wants us to do.
But you know what? But then at the same time, it's good to have a wild card in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's cool, but it's just that I just know the fact that it may go left. I'm just gonna stay right.
I'm staying right in the center.
Lakers
like
in Milwaukee. Lakers in Milwaukee are on, and Lakers are getting stomped the fuck out right now.
Oh, AD must be out again.
No, they said he's playing.
Is he?
Yeah, that what they said on
he's probably hobbling around.
Yeah, NBA Twitter said not NBA Twitter.
Yeah, he's out there.
Yeah, not NBA Twitter, not these clowns who think they know basketball. I'm talking about like the actual NBA on Twitter said that he's playing tonight.
They're down 14. Third quarter just started.
Okay.
Milwaukee's frauds. I don't buy into them once playoff time because
I said that and when we were talking about the NBA.
Oh yeah. I talked about everybody in the East. It's just not impressive to me. So
everybody's talking about, maybe a finals matchup. I mean, I guess because the week has gotten the East has gotten weaker, but I mean, the Celtics will beat them at this point.
Right.
All right. Anything else y'all got before we go?
No, that's it.
Another good episode. Like I said before, I'll do my outro first. Like I said before, there's a lot of changes. I didn't even tell DJ and Bills yet about what I want to do. There will be no episodes next week because Tuesday is Christmas Eve. Thursday is the day after Christmas. We're not doing any episodes. So we're going to do one at the end of the year. January 31st, we'll do an end of the year episode. There'll be a year in review. We'll talk about everything that happened over the year. So that'll give us enough time to collect data so we can talk about things that happened over the year. Gaming, sports, people in the community. It doesn't matter. Just give us a background on how the year went through. Also, I'm going to talk about some other things, like I said, that's going to happen with this podcast. Like I said, I didn't even talk to DJ or Bills about it, so it's just going to be a good thing for everybody.
We're going to get paid.
Win-win for everybody. And just pretty much it's just going to be good overall for 2020. So I appreciate everybody who came through once again. Another good podcast, another thing of great content, and we appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all in a couple weeks. What you got, Bills?
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming. I know I got here late, and that's been kind of a trend, but that's gonna unfortunately only get worse as time goes on. But I'm gonna try to be here as much as possible. I like kicking it with y'all and talking about these topics. So, yeah. Let's get some momentum heading into 2020.
I think Yeah, I think this was a very therapeutic episode for me personally, especially what I went through this morning. So it was great to be around everybody, be around UVF and Bills when you came in, and be around people in the chat for those that were listening. This is another good episode. We talked about what we talked about, but has some organic things to talk about. So that's always good. And also, like I said, go check out the latest episode, State of Decay 2. Well, apparently the ending of my first season. So definitely go check it out to see how it ended.
Okay, that sounds good. Like I said, we appreciate everybody who came through, and I just appreciate it, man. This podcast, like, y'all may not know it, man. And I'm not talking about you two guys, but the guys who are that come and listen. You guys mean a lot, and you guys help the podcast grow. And all we ask for you guys right now is just to, just share the podcast, and let everybody know that we're out here doing this on, YouTube, Twitch. Download us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Still trying to get it to other avenues as far as downloads and where you can download the podcast. Haven't heard anything back, but we're still gonna work on that. Nevertheless, man, you guys are really appreciated. You take time out your day to come listen to us, and like I said, we really do appreciate it. Like I said, we'll be back on the 31st, do a year in review, and definitely talk about everything that's been going on throughout this past year, games, sports, and all the other good stuff. So we'll see you guys next time. And
did Bills do his outro?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I just checking.
No, he did. Like I said, we'll see you guys next time. And on the 31st, we'll be here ready for you guys. Thanks for everything, and peace.
All right, see you guys in 2 weeks, and your World Series champion, Washington.